Okay, so you're welcome to another episode of the CineVersations podcast. And like I told you on this particular show on GH Movie Freak TV, we'll be talking to film people, film lovers, people behind the scenes, people on screen, basically anybody that has love for the film industry. And we'll be having very important conversations that are geared towards helping grow our space. But before we dive into today's conversation, I would entreat you to subscribe to this channel if you already haven't. Make sure you share this video to as many people as you can and leave a comment in the comment section below so that we can know what kind of topics you want us to talk about and what kind of guests you want to see on the show. I already have a long list of people that I want to get on this show, but I sort of need your help to be able to get their attention, right? So when the numbers look good, they'll be interested in coming on the show. So let's just dive right in. Today our guest is Eghan. He is how do I even describe this guy? He's someone I really admire. He's a very how do I even put this? He's a very driven guy. Like, he's very focused, he's very forceful, very persistent. Someone that I really, really admire, someone that I wish I had his half of his aura when he steps into rooms. And yeah, welcome on the show, welcome on the CineVersations podcast, Eghan.
Thank you, bro.
He's also the festival founder of Accra Indie Film Festival, and he's also he just completed his what did you just complete, Seth?
I just finished my master's now.
His master's in events
marketing with festivals and events management. So
wow,
it's a bridge between marketing and festivals and events.
Right. So were you the how did you pronounce that word? Valedictorian or what?
So here they don't do something like valedictorian, but I think even I graduated with distinction, which means that I got higher marks for most of the I think realistically I got 6 distinctions out of 9, so I did a total of 9 modules.
Wow.
And then 6 distinctions out of 9. And then I think the award, I was just asking them what the medal even meant, because I actually got to know about it that morning that I was going for my graduation. So I picked up the card and said, oh, look behind it. And so I checked it and said, oh, university medal winner. Wow. So after that, I was asking them, what does that mean? Because I've heard, oh, university medal winner when I'm on stage during graduations and all of that. So I just was asking what it meant. And what they said was that in addition to being the best performer in the program, which might be like the valedictorian equivalent, the award needs to be pitched. So someone needs to pitch you, have you seen this person's output? Even though he was like the best student in the program, but his output merits the fact that he gets the award. So I was like, okay, that's quite interesting.
So all he's trying to say, he's a very brainy student. He's like, everything that I said is everything I said is an understatement of who exactly he is. But today we are having a conversation about film festivals, and anybody that knows the Ghanaian film space knows that we are kind of like on the cups of a very like new resurgence of the industry. And one of the things that I believe that adds to making this industry vibrant is events or film events, and top of the list would be festivals. Today we are going to have a conversation about film festivals. How instrumental are they for the growth of our film industry? We are going to start a little bit talking about AIF, which is the Accra Indie Film Festival, which was founded by Eghan himself. So tell us, AIF, it's been 6 years?
Yeah, it's been 6 years, 2019 till now. Yeah.
And we are heading into the 7th edition.
The 7th edition. Yeah.
7th edition. So what inspired you to start AIF?
So I think what actually inspired me to start AIF is because of FESPACO. Those who do not know FESPACO is it's like the biggest African film festival in Burkina Faso. So in 2017, when I was doing my national service as a teaching assistant at the University of Ghana, it's like a ritual for the university that they take students to the festival just for them to be part of the experience, to just be rejuvenated creatively, also see what's going on there, and be able to just grow through that process. So I was one the leading, because I was a teaching assistant, I was just more like the leading man to be able to put the students together to take them to the festival. Even though it was also my very first time going there, I didn't have any idea what entire film festival was all about, and whatever that was happening over there. So when we got in there, I was really struck. Honestly, I was struck because when it comes to the African cinema, we might not even mention Burkina Faso in any conversation, right? And then this is a situation where you go into a country and the whole capital is like shut down for the festival. I've never seen anything like that before anywhere.
Wow.
So I was like, I remember I was always in constant conversation with Mr. And I was like, what's going on? Opening ceremony at the stadium, fully packed. We needed to get our accreditation 2 weeks ahead of time before we got there. The stadium was packed. You go to film screening, everything was packed. Conversations, presidents coming for film screenings. Either president comes for film screenings, nobody enters the cinema, and all of that. So I was just there, I was like, what's going on? This is really something different. And it's what was just running through my head was that beyond everything, right? We always talk about film conversation and all of that. And most of the times where we do have our conversation from all the time, we have been running film conversations around the industry is only during premieres. And bro, in the festival, premiere is just one element of the many things that can happen at festival. And seeing the kind of people, the kind of films, the kind of conversations, all the activities happening there, I was like, okay, we're losing something in there. But I knew that there's been something already going on in Ghana, but it wasn't to that capacity. So when I came back, I was like, okay, let's do something, but what we are going to do is going to be specifically for short films.
Okay.
Right? Because the industry has gotten to a point where if you are not making a feature film, or you're not, in quotes, breaking box office records, you are not being talked about. But you and I know that being a filmmaker is not a walk in the park.
At all.
It's very expensive. The process itself is quite cumbersome, that you need time to be able to grow into that space. But at a point in time, we've been growing an industry where it's like we're looking for magicians, right? Nobody knows where someone is coming from. All that we're expecting to see is that, oh, did you see this film that premiered at Silverbird? Everybody was talking about it. That is when we get to discover new talent. And bro, it's not a gamble for us to be able to, and you and I know how much average cost of feature film production is. If you do not have about 100 as at that time, 2017, if you do not have 100,000 to 200,000, you cannot make an average feature films. How many young filmmakers in Ghana do have that money to be able to do that? And even if they do have the money, of which I can mention some few names that came in, they had money to start, they shot a feature film, 1 or 2, and they bounced out and came back again. And this is scientific data that proven to you that the art of filmmaking, it's business, but it's a science at the same time. Step to make sure that you've grown yourself into the process to understand what works for you, what doesn't work for you, so that when people talk about your film, it's not a surprise. You orchestrate or engineered every element of conversation that's supposed to happen at your film screening, and they need time to be able to do that. But there's no space for them to be able to even explore. And some added conversation when you hear somebody make short film, and they will come and tell you, oh, you should have just made a feature film, because there's no space for that, right? I said, okay, let's scrap all of that shit. Let's come back to what's supposed to be the thing for emerging filmmakers. If nobody's going to watch it, we're going to take the pain and bring people together, make your film, submit your film. Let's put it on the screen in these spaces that we'll be able to put together. Let's see what's going to happen. And that's how AIF started.
Wow.
And that's how far we are gradually growing through it.
I mean, I've been involved with AIF ever since the beginning as one of the jury members. I think the last edition I was jury head, but I mean I didn't know all this that led up to this, and I must say that in the last couple of years you've really had a very what's the word? You've had a very steady growth that every year the festival keeps getting better and better to a point where it seems so much like it's not just a festival for Ghana anymore. It's not just a festival for Africa anymore. It's a festival for the entire world. Can you tell me what was what were some of the steps, or what was the intention to sort of make AIF a festival that does not just exist in the Ghanaian space and is attractive to Africa and the rest of the world?
So I mean, if I tell you that when I was starting the festival, I knew the festival could grow to this point, I might be lying, because I really didn't have any clue. What I knew for sure was we were establishing a film festival that is focused on building a community. And when I say community, most of the times we want to talk about the fact that, okay, industry is a community, but people perceive the word industry to mean something different.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be focused on the industry. We want to focus on the community. And that's the community of emerging filmmakers. And then now we were again thinking that the challenges that emerging filmmakers in Ghana are facing, it's not exclusive to Ghanaian filmmakers. It's not.
That's true.
And if we open our scope wider, we'll be able to identify similar community of emerging filmmakers in other countries who are also facing similar situations, or like industrial challenge. But let's see what they are also doing. With that, it will serve as a motivation for our local filmmakers to say, look, these emerging filmmakers in other countries are doing things that we can step up on. And then those people will also have an opportunity to see what is happening locally. And just in case there's any form of collaborations, we'll be able to establish that.
Wow.
Then again, realistically, as a festival, as running as an NGO business, and making sure that sustainability is key, first is the film themselves. If we focused on only Ghanaians, how many emerging filmmakers can we churn out with their films annually? Would that be enough? If that will not be enough, how do we get more films in addition to that to be able to just bridge the conversation? Now creating collaborative opportunities, and also making sure that we are sustained in terms of the primary source of what the festival is supposed to be about. So that was the thought process that came together, and we've been able to grow through to this point. And one interesting thing that I don't know if I can share that secret with you.
Of course, you can share everything. I want all the juice.
Sometimes people think that it just happened by magic or anything like that. At the end of every edition of the festival, there's always a question that we need to answer. We've done this. What more can we do? We've done this. What more can we do? So if you check, every year there's something new added on. Every year there's something new added on. And this year you can see our international Connect initiative that we're running, and that can progress through as long as we can. And that's the new thing we've added on to the festival this time, and we're just looking forward to how far we can go with that.
Wow. Awesome. I mean, like I said, I've seen the growth from every year's edition to this point, and I'm already anticipating, or I have a fair idea of some of the things that like AIF can do in the coming years. But that brings me to my question. A lot of people feel like festivals are not necessarily that beneficial to the filmmaker, and are usually like profit or money-making machines for the festival organizers, right?
That's a big joke.
It's a big joke.
That's a big joke. It's a big joke.
Tell me about it. Make me laugh.
I've been following some conversation just recently. A couple of weeks ago, I just saw some filmmaker posted on Facebook that, oh, the filmmakers who are chasing or running through film festivals, I hope you're getting screening fees.
I know. I saw
Bro,
that post too. Yeah, I know the post you're talking
look,
about. I know the filmmaking you're
you know
talking
the post I'm
about.
talking about, right? So I hope you're getting fees. And these are people who are not even being ethical in being a filmmaker, but we don't want to talk about
Okay.
them not being ethical as filmmakers, but let's
Okay.
just
Shots on shot.
address the issue of let's address the issue of look, the biggest film festivals even pay screening fee. Not the screening fees are not even more than like $200 or something per film screening or per session of film screening. So depending on how long your film is screening, you get paid more. Right?
Okay, so let's get that clear. Depending on how long your film is screening, you get paid more. And you're saying the biggest film festivals do not pay more than...
They don't even pay more than $200 per screening.
And this is money that's supposed to go to the filmmaker.
Yes, I cannot verify
the exact amount. Okay,
but averagely, screening fee for even the biggest film festivals are not even more than like $200, right?
Okay.
And these are filmmakers. Go and check Sundance how much they charge for film submission.
Right. So again, here's the thing. This is where the argument really is, that to get into a film festival, you need to pay. Usually, you need to pay like a submission fee, right? And that is where people feel like that is where the filmmakers or the festival is taking advantage of the filmmakers, because filmmakers would have to pay a submission fee to be a part of the festival, right? So. And then now people are expecting that they are also going to make money out of the festival. You see where the issue is here.
I know where the conversation is, but film festivals do not make money from film submissions. They don't. Because if we're supposed to holistically organize the entire festival based using the submission fees, that's not even like 10% of the entire cost that you have to incur in organizing the festival. It's not even close to that.
Yeah.
Right. But let's just clear this myth a little bit, and then go into why filmmakers are supposed to prioritize festivals. One, film screenings, not film submission fees, are key essential for the filmmakers for the festival. Why? Because that's the first level of jury exercise. Because if you're supposed to submit for free, Sundance, even with the submission fees, they get over 50,000 submissions per year.
Yeah.
So just imagine.
And these Sundance are submissions from across the world, not just like
across the world. Yes. Across the world. Yeah. And you know Sundance. Sundance is like one of the biggest film festivals. I think they are not in the top 3, but I think they are in the somewhere top 5 in the world. Right. So just imagine that if they are not paying or they are not charging for submissions, they will wake up in the morning or one morning and they will have received over 100,000 film submissions in a day. Who is supposed to sit down and do that job, screening that job? Who's supposed to do that?
Because the idea is to be fair to every filmmaker, like every submission. Yeah. So the screening has to be very thorough.
Exactly. So if we are leaving it open, we wouldn't even have time to screen other films to just make sure that those who are supposed to get in, right? And then again, some jury members get paid for doing that job.
Yeah.
Right. And so if nothing at all, screening fee can only pay for the jury's time and sacrifice or sitting down and watching your film. So you're literally telling them that take this money, watch my film, and let me know if I stand a chance of getting all the values that we're going to talk about now.
Okay.
And now let's go into when you finally get your film into the festival. And that's why some filmmakers also prioritize their film when they are part of a festival, because the connection they are they're going to get is bigger than the submission fee that they have paid. Right? a festival like AIF, we are not one of the biggest,
Well,
right? No,
well, you're being
we are
modest.
there. We are there. Yeah, we are there. We are growing. I want to appreciate the fact that we are really growing massively, and that's the reason why I even came to do this master I'm doing now. But we are not big in terms of being able to promise filmmakers so many things, right? That, oh, if you win any category, we can give you 5,000 euros or $5,000 that some filmmakers film festivals do, right? Or we can fly you in as some filmmakers do, right? But let's talk about the big ones, and then we can come back to AIF. And
Okay.
even with we not being able to offer some of these big essentials to filmmakers, how valuable is still for filmmakers to be part of the festival. Now, if you get your film to be part of the festival, there are some film festivals that you are going to, if you get a chance to win any of the category, you're going to make a lot of money. Sometimes the monies are even bigger than the production cost. And a typical example is FESPACO. FESPACO, as in 2017, we're paying short film 3 million CFS, which was 16,000 Ghana cedis as at
At that time.
2017, because I remember Peter, one of my mates, whose film was selected as part of the student film category, won. And this is a film that we produced with 400 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
And that film won the best student film, and that was 3 million and was equivalent to 16,000.
400 Ghana CD and won 16,000 CDs. That's if my math is good, that should be about like 400% or 4,000%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. From just one festival. Okay. In addition to that, some film festivals pay screening fee, and just as I mentioned, based on the number of times some pay one outright fee for screening. It doesn't matter how long they're going to screen your film at the festival. You are even likely to have multiple screenings at their festival, right? But some also do pay screenings. So if we are paying $200 per screening, if you are screening your film 3 times at the festival, you can do the math, right? That's also a little bit of money you can make from that. But beyond some of these petty monies, one of the things you get is what we call recognition. Every filmmaker wants people to see their films, right? Every filmmaker wants people to see their films. So instead of going through the stress of doing marketing, arranging for venue, chasing all of these things, making sure people get to know about your film to come see your film, another person is doing that too. You are just in your house, got your film selected, and say, okay, we are going to chase for all the numbers, all the people and everything. All that you need to do is come and sit down and have conversation with the people.
Yeah.
That is something that would have cost you thousands of Ghana cedis to be able to do that. But this time we're saying, bring your film. We're adding it to other collective of films to just create that experience for
and
you.
providing you with an audience.
Exactly. We're providing with free audience, so you didn't do anything. We are bringing the people to come see your film.
Okay.
We're providing you with free audience that would have cost you so much money to do, to be able to bring them together to make that happen. Okay. Now, in addition to even the provision of audience, there's a possibility of having a Q&A sessions where the audience can tell you what is wrong and what is right with your film. This is them telling you what more you can do. That probably have to go pay money to go to school for your instructor to tell you what you could have done in the film that you made, right? And some people might think that, oh, the audience feedback is not really that important. You do not know, right? They are the ones you're making the films for. We can go about the conversation about the fact that, oh, we make the film for ourselves, and then if the audience enjoy, if that's your stance, make the film and watch it in your room. That's fine, right? But audience feedback are quite essential for them to be able to give you an insight of some of the things that you were not even looking into.
Right.
And that is an extra knowledge that you gain from having that Q&A sessions that festivals do provide for the filmmakers and the audience. Now, the awards that filmmakers, in addition to the money that you're likely to get, the fact that you know that, okay, your film won best best narrative at AIF gives you extra leverage,
Yeah.
right? Gives you extra recognition to be able to go pitch to other filmmakers, other producers or agents that, oh, my film even won award at this prestigious film festival. That's just from that from that first stance of having that statement made. It clicks for the person to give you an attention or a listening ear, for them to know, okay, what more you can
What
offer
more you have
if they have something for you. Yes, for them to listen to you. Now again, the environment that the festivals have already created gives you the opportunity to, because you don't know the people who are there, right?
That's
Most
true.
of the time the conversations are between the filmmakers and
That's
people
true.
who are coming in there. You don't know if there's a distributor coming in.
That's true.
You don't know if there's agents coming in. They come and see your film and say, hey, yeah, we love your film. What more do you think you can do with this one? We're ready to sponsor that. Without that, you wouldn't have gotten the opportunity. Even now, I'm running a student film festival at my university. And just literally, on Friday, I got an email from, I think, one of the leadership teams that this is a new opportunity that the filmmakers can have. There is this grant available. If any of the filmmakers want to extend the production of the current film at the festival, they can pitch their project to this fund and they'll be able to get money to go make another film.
So essentially,
do
like
an extension of that particular film.
So essentially, in your case, AI focuses on short films. So essentially, taking that short film and then maybe turning it into a feature, right? Is that what you mean? A fund for that?
Yes, there's always that possibility. Yes, there's always that possibility, right? There's always that possibility. And that's what we haven't even spoken about, the relevance of short film and why it's quite essential for AIF concentration. But this is even given a general advantages, opportunities that filmmakers are likely to get if they go to film festival, rather than staying in their house or hustling through to be able to do whatever that they need to do by themselves. As you also know, there are conversations with other people, institutions, other entities that as a filmmaker you will not be able to have.
That's true.
Right? A typical example, this year we run the pitch series as part of the festival, which we haven't done before, right? It was an institution that reached out to us that, oh, we've seen what you guys are doing. You guys are doing really wonderful. We have this amount of money for you. Just tell us what you can do with that, right? And then we'll go back to tell them that, okay, we can do this. And then, okay, yeah, we love it. Go ahead and do that. And that gives us an opportunity to be able to create that experience as part of the festival, where at the end of the day, another person is getting opportunity to travel to another country, go pitch the project to be able to
secure funding,
have access to other extra opportunities that's way beyond what we can produce at the festival, right? So there's always a connecting dot that the festival as an entity can create for filmmakers that in their dreams they wouldn't be able to do that.
Wow. I mean you said a lot that to me encompass all the benefits one can get from being involved in a festival that necessarily doesn't translate to immediate cash or making money off the screenings of their film.
No.
And most of these benefits are, like you said, benefits that you might not be able to access in your dreams. Because I can give several examples of people that like have met in festivals and went on to do other business with concerning film. And I can speak to the fact that I wouldn't probably have met those people if not for the fact that I was present at a festival. And I'm not just talking about AIF, I'm talking about some other festivals that I've been to. So I know that. And I usually tell filmmakers that most of the business that happens around filmmaking starts from festival grounds. Most of the business that goes on or that happens or leads on to bigger projects around films happen within festivals, and people do not pay attention to that, because you never know, like you said, you never know who is in the room, you never know who is in attendance. It could be an investor, it could be an executive producer, it could be a distribution company, a marketing company, it could be a publication like myself, ghmoviefreak.com, who would be there, see your film, and then would want to throw like additional light onto that film to make it seen by a lot more people. But again, I think to sort of still talk about the idea that festivals make money for themselves, the organization of the festivals is not just screenings. Like AIF, for instance.
No.
Before we go on, run us through some of the activities that, let's say, AIF happens within a week. What are some of the other activities that go on within that week that make up the festival?
Yeah, so many things. So most of the times, we always start with the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
And opening ceremony is grand, and it's grand in the sense the fact that it has film screening. We bring the biggest of people around for the opening ceremony. Now, day one or the second day, day two, has master classes, probably industry conversations, film screenings. The second day will have other activities that could be pitch series, or it could be pitch session, it could be another master class, it could be industry conversation. The next day we can have music concert as part of the festival. The next day we will have
I think that's one of the highlights of AIF. You have a very dope concert. The AIF Connect concert. It's very dope.
Yeah. So it's several experiences put together as one. And in any capacity of these individual events are all gearing towards the filmmaking. So you get opportunity to learn, you get opportunity to add your voice to a bigger conversation, you get opportunity to screen your film, you get opportunity to entertain yourself beyond just being stressed on film set or anything like that, and have bigger conversation with people that on the regular basis you will not be able to meet them.
Right. I think all these things are brilliant, and for me, the biggest part of festivals is the networking. I think that we cannot overstress the importance of networking in this field of filmmaking or in any creative field. It's very important that you are able to meet like-minded people from different backgrounds, different experiences, different exposures, different talents, to be able to do something that would grow, something that would be better than your last project. And people cannot take away the fact that networking is important in our space, and one of the best places you can network is at film festivals. Speaking about networking, right, I've seen that,
and to even adding
go on.
So I just even wanted to add to the fact that during my research process, there was one of the conversations that I had, and I never even knew that there was a Hollywood actor that was part of our festival at a certain point in time. And there was this filmmaker who said that I think the filmmaker saw the person's film at the festival and reached out to them directly that, hey, I've seen your project, you are a wonderful filmmaker, I'm always open to working with you and all of that. And you cannot meet them on any opportunity, any place to be able to have that conversation, unless it's a festival like that.
Wow. That's very, I mean, there are several examples of such situations that I come to my mind readily. But again, on the back of networking, I've seen beyond the collaborations. I've seen beyond the collaborations between the filmmakers themselves. I've seen collaborations between festivals, right? And AIF is a good example of that. Can you tell me a little bit about that collaboration between the Accra Indie Film Festival and some other film festivals, and how that essentially helps or is beneficial to the filmmaker?
Awesome. Now we are even sometimes tired because some film festivals reach out to us and it's quite difficult to even have time to create for them. So this is how it works out, right? We all have our own territories. It's just similar to like musical artists having collaborations. This
Yeah.
person have their own fan base. These artists have their own fan base. The moment they work together, it means that they are sharing the fan base together. At the end of the day, this person's fan base will consume the music. This other artist's fan base will also consume the same music. So some of the collaborations we've had is with Clermont Short Film Festival
Yeah.
in France, and it's actually like the second biggest short film festival in the world, right? Second because
Clermont
there's
Ferrand.
one in Germany that picked up, or that's the father of all short film festival. So I'm giving them a second, and this is it. It started off of the opportunity that they, as part of their festival, they have a created program called African Perspective or
Okay.
African Showcase. So with that, and we being one of the leading short film festivals in Africa, in order for them to extend their audience or their reach for the filmmakers as well as the festival, they want to do that through us, or they can do that through us. And it's like, okay, that's definitely a brilliant idea. Why not? Let's do that. And so we started off showcasing some of the African perspective films as part of AIF, meaning that now it's not only your film seen in the European countries, but Africa can also have the opportunity to see your film beyond that audience base, right? And now, in exchange for that, we also have emerging filmmakers that get opportunity to participate in their short film markets. So in this case, they also have a very bigger market of short films that brings together distributors, executive producers, and different kind of people. And with that, now emerging filmmakers get opportunity to go to them through us. That okay, you are not the one going there, but you're going there as a cohort from Accra Indie Film Fest. So with just the name of Accra Indie Film Fest, you were able to leverage on that to now get yourself into a different market that extends to what you are also doing. Likewise, if we create a film program for the art festival, what it also means is that your audience is going beyond the Accra Indie Film Fest audience space to this new space that's going to see your film. And that's what we did with that of Sao Paulo International Short Film Festival.
Yeah.
They actually even reached out to us that they want to bridge, they want a bridge between the African audience. So their festival was kind of close to when the conversation started. And so we had to create an African perspective as part of the festival. And they will also create more like South American perspective as part of our next festival, right? So it's just exchange of audience, collaborations that leads to exchange of audience where we give them more audience, they also give us more audience. And in addition to that, this is what it gives to the filmmakers. Beyond the fact that you get opportunity to be able to have your film as part of AIF, you do not have to go through the regular submission process that goes through the screening process and you might be rejected or anything like that. They don't go through any of that. What you just go through is the fact that just by the virtue of having your film at AIF, you get opportunity to have your film in some of these film festivals without going through the regular route. And one of the things we're working on is to actually get the festival to become Oscars qualifying. If AIF becomes Oscars qualifying, what it also means is that by participating in AIF, it gives you the opportunity to have your film participate at the Oscars without you going through the means of the submission and getting rejected or anything like that.
Wow, I'm seeing that happening soon. I'm seeing that I'm seeing that happening soon, where it becomes an Oscar qualifying festival, and I become an Oscar qualifying jury member by virtue of the fact that I serve on the jury of AIF. We've talked a lot about the benefits of being a part of a festival, but then again, the question still holds, really and truly. What would you say, or how would you say festivals help grow the industry? Because we are looking at all these benefits that seem a bit individualistic for the filmmaker that submits their film, or even the the actor that attends a festival, the benefits that they get all seem very individualistic. So in general, for an industry, and I'm not just looking at the Ghanaian film industry, I'm looking at the African film scene in general, because that's our audience for this podcast. What would you say, or how would you say festivals help grow our film industry?
It's so big. One, first of all, the individualistic opportunities that filmmakers get to derive from festivals is what collectively come together to represent the industry.
Okay.
Right. So the industry is not like some mythical entity somewhere supervising anything like that. The industry is still the people. Right. It's the people coming together that makes the industry. So first, it creates the opportunity to bring all of these people together. They being together gives you the representation of what the industry is doing. So anything that brings the individual filmmakers or individual creatives together gives you a sense of the industry being represented, right? Again, the industry needs more like individuals coming in, because industries do have system that kind of replace. Should I use the word replace? Not necessarily replace, but it always replenishes what we seem to have been losing, right? So let me give you an example. If the industry started with the Koanses, right? They are still there, but they are not making films as when they were the pioneers during their time. So we need people to fill those spaces and even grow the space to become bigger. And so short film festivals, and especially for what we do, which has been the case of the fact that the industry is always waiting for that magic filmmaker, boom, and then filmmaker from nowhere is making magic, and that's when the industry become gingered, right? That is when an industry is not working with the system. Now, the film festival, especially concentrating on short films, is telling you that, okay, you can take your first 2-3 years, grow yourself, learn all other things that you need to learn, connect to the people that matter to your craft. And then after the 3 years, I'm just making up numbers. After the 3 years, you make one feature film, and then boom, everybody's talking about it. Let's use William Agwiti as an example. When he dropped his limited series, Queen of Accra, you, the whole place were just. Do you know when this guy started making short films?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of his short films. A bunch. And even films that he has collaborated on with other people that are not necessarily his films.
Yeah. So just imagine that if we have a system that makes emerging filmmakers comfortable to make short films without feeling neglected or without feeling less of a filmmaker, they grow their confidence, they grow their craft, and then after 3 years, you see new people coming in and filling in the spaces, and that's how the industry keep growing. And at the end of the day, now they're making big films that are more money oriented, right? And then they make money for themselves. They feed back into the industry. Those who rent cameras are making money, because filmmakers are making money. Cinema is making money because filmmakers are making films, right? The government agencies or the authorities, which I call them the policymakers, can now make policies because things are happening, and we need structures to just make sure that the structures are flourishing the people who are making the films. The structures are supporting what is being created in the industry. So at the end of the day, all of these now come together to be able to make sure that we're growing. Now, film festivals, in addition to creating the opportunity for film screenings where we get the people gingered because these films are coming in. And look, most film festivals create premiering opportunities for filmmakers, right? So you can actually have a premiere status without you going through the stress of premiering your film. Again, that is another vibrancy that the film festival will add to the industry. And also relieve the stress of the filmmakers that we know marketing is tough. We know some of you do not even have an idea of how to market your films. We are taking that stress off you. Let's do that for you. and you see that it increases the numbers, it increases the recognition that the filmmakers are supposed to make. And we add training sessions, we add conversations that leads to what the government can do, and said, okay, this is what the filmmakers are asking, this is what the filmmakers want during these conversations, and this is what we need to do. It's not just about the talking of it, right? But the fact that the talking begins the step that will create all the process that needs to be made. And these are the things that film festivals do. The film festival might not have the power to be able to do that, even though some can have a power to a certain extent. But when it comes to structures and all of that, there's little you can do, because sometimes, unless the film festival is government bound, or it's being supported hugely by the government, just like the FESPACO, because FESPACO, the last time I went there, it was between the government of Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast that joined forces together to make that happen, and that's why it looked grand. And at that, all proclamations can be made, all changes that we want to do can be made, without necessarily making it look like we need to cut sword for anything, right? And we create an environment that the government, or those who are more like the policy implementers of the industry, can use that as opportunity, like a base. Like, that is a case study for you to be able to tell what you can do and what you cannot do, right? But do they even come there? Do these people even come there? They don't care. But if they really care about the industry, that's where they need to come. It's your case study to see what's going on, what the people want, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, right. I think all that you said.
I'm drifting a little bit. But it all comes back to what the industry needs.
Yeah, I agree with you that it all comes back to what the industry benefits from festivals. I think, in general, I especially speaking from my perspective as let's say a film journalist, I can say that festivals in some extent provide press for the specific country's industry. You understand? Because like, we keep going to the conversation in this podcast, in this episode, we've mentioned FESPACO. I mean, many times, right? And I'm sure to a certain degree it has brought, or that particular festival has brought some attention to Burkina Faso's film industry, and even the francophone side of Africa's filmmaking. I was in South Africa for the Durban Film Festival a couple months ago, and I could see the energy. Like, I could feel the energy. It was so palpable, to the point where I felt like I want this so much for my country, that people were literally like, I heard a story about a filmmaker at that festival. I heard a story about a filmmaker that had traveled for 10 days by road to get to Durban.
Just to make it.
Just to be at Durban for that experience, because they felt, or they were confident that they were going to leave with something. And it could be it could be a financier for their project, it could be a connection, it could be some feedback about their project that would go a long way to make that film better. And personally, I've always I want that for the Ghanaian film industry. I want that for every country. I think that some of the big festivals across the African continent have done great for their countries, to a point where people want to go to the country to want to experience those festivals. And you can talk about the rippling effects of that. People flying into your country to be a part of AIF. What it does for hotels, what it does for the hospitality industry, what it does for transport, the other economies that benefit when people travel into a country. I think that it's limitless, and it's not just limited to the growth of the film industry, but I mean, the focus has to be in be on the film industry to a large extent.
The entire economy. Look, it goes a long way to the entire economy. And then again, you already know how stressful being creative is. And getting the assurance that there is that energy that makes you go out to just be part of conversations, be part of experience, just rejuvenate your creative energy differently
Yeah.
From look, when I go to Lagos and I come back, you can see the difference.
Yeah.
There's a place you go and the energy is different.
Yeah.
There's somewhere you go and it's like they've taken something away from you
Yeah.
unconsciously.
Yeah, like
You
when
know,
I
so
the conversation we had when I got back from Durban, I was the energy
yeah,
like, bro, I at that time if someone had given me $1 million, I would have changed the world. Like, yeah, the
I
energy I came
swear.
back with was different. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was
yeah,
just because I was in that space and I saw the
yeah,
conversations happening. I saw the
yeah,
interactions. I met people. I spoke to people. I I interacted. I call myself, I am antisocial, but when I was in that space, I was forced
yeah.
to
To
try
have
and connect with
conversations. Yeah,
people. Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
and the energy, you are right. The energy is very, you know, it excites you. Now let's just wrap this up. Let's wrap this up on the back of AIF because I have you on here. AIF is going into
Right.
its 8th year, which is next year.
Seventh edition.
Oh, sorry, the
Seventh edition.
seventh edition, which is happening next year. What would you
Yeah.
say? Just tease us. What should we expect for the next edition of AIF? What are some of the things that you have lined up for AIF 2025, and why should
Yeah.
people want to be a part of AIF 2025?
Bro, AIF is currently, bro, like is currently one of the biggest short film festivals in Africa.
I agree.
In Africa.
I
For
agree.
other people, what they
I think
think
it should be
about
in.
is their own
I don't.
business,
I'm not.
right?
I don't know about the top spot, but it should be in the top three at this point.
It
Like,
should be in the top three.
yeah, it should be in the
I mean,
top three short film
I
festivals in
admire.
Africa. Yeah.
There's one short film festival that I actually personally admire.
That you are
Because
gunning for. You are trying to. You
I do
want
check, yeah, yeah, I do
overtake
check up on
them.
them and be like, yo, you guys are really, really wonderful. But top three, we should be there. Especially when it comes to the exclusive short films, we should be there. Then again, the seventh edition, it's going to be what we always say, the amplified version of all that you've ever seen, right? So we're going to do everything. There's none of the activities we've ever done at the previous edition of the festival that we are not going to do. But this time we are going to do with bigger numbers, bigger impact, bigger resources, and hopefully be able to touch
More
more
people.
creative careers as much as we can. Excitedly, it's actually the next phase of the festival because we finished that full 5 years of the festival, and we're developing the new strategic plan of the festival. There's so many things I cannot say here yet,
Okay.
but just expect AIF doing things looking differently from what it has been. But like I said, we're just going to do an amplified version of all the things that we've done. We're bringing music concert back. We're bringing the Pit series back. We're bringing AIF film arts back. We are bringing AIF film talk party back. We are bringing our open air cinema experience back. We're bringing all the master classes that we've never done before back. We're bringing the toughest of the conversations that we've not had yet. We're bringing them back, and I'm really going to be more involved because this year's edition I was not like physically present because of my program.
Yeah.
But I'm coming back. And you
Okay.
know, when I touch down, you know what
I know when you
magic is
touch
doing.
now, the
So,
energy is
yeah.
different. So Charlie, you be hard guy. You be hard guy. Like I really admire your drive when it comes to these things. Yeah. So that's for AIF 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final words before I let go of you?
Yeah. What I would say is that look, this is an experience that I know is growing on people, and I understand the fact that it's new to some people, but this is if the industry that we wanted to grow, we actually really wanted to grow. These are some of the opportunities that we need to take advantage of from filmmakers because primarily, filmmakers ignoring some of these opportunities and other film makers from other countries
Yeah.
taking that up
Yeah.
is always the Ghanaian thing, which we need to deal with that.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to deal with that. Again, it's for us. It's for the fact that it's an international film festival. It's in Ghana, and so it's for us. But we need to just make sure that we get involved with everything that's happening over there. Take whatever that we can take, because what we do there is always free. You are not being charged to do anything. And if you don't want to take advantage of that, other people will come. As you can attest, when we made the call for the Pit Series this year, you saw that the countries that were submitting their project to be part of the festival.
And this was a Pit Series that was supposed to focus on just Ghanaian filmmakers. And surprisingly,
people say we don't agree.
Surprisingly, there were more submissions from other countries than Ghanaian filmmakers. That's
so
true.
that's one of the things that we just need to find a way to deal with that and be part of the industry. And we need to be able to create evaluating system or monitoring system to check how progressively the industry is growing. It might not be a particularly film festival's responsibility, but there should be that system, that gauge of accountability for us to be able to tell what the industry is doing, what progress have we made, what more do we need to do to be able to progress to the next level that we're looking forward to. And film festivals are always an opportunity for us to kickstart some of these conversations, so that it will give us a better case study for us to be able to gauge how progressively the industry is growing. When you come to me, I can give you numbers of how we started, how we've been able to improve engagement to this point. But that's not enough. We need to be able to be there for the numbers to show for themselves, for them to be able to now make bigger cases. So this is unofficial invitation, even though the festival is far away from now. It's somewhere in August, first week of August. But on the ground, there's so many activities that we're going to put together. We actually have, we might have 2 events before 1st of January. So put your eyes on the ground, pay attention to that, and get involved. There's so many things that you can gain from that.
Right. Thank you very much, Eghan. I mean, this has been a very insightful conversation. We've spoken so much about festivals in general and focused a little bit more on Accra Indie Film Festival that I'm hoping people should be focusing on for next year. I also, just to confirm, Eghan, submissions are open, right?
Yeah, they're open. I think the regular submission even closed, because we do have like 3 strands of submission deadline. So the first one is already closed. The second one is on. I think it will be on till the end of January 2025.
January 25. Okay, so I'm going to do well to drop a link to the submission portal, or how to submit, in the caption of this video as well. So people should, I mean, if you have a short film that you are looking to get submitted or looking to get selected and screened at Accra Indie Film Festival, you'll be able to do that. Thank you very much, Eghan, for coming. Thank you too
for the time.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody else that has watched this episode of the CineVersations podcast right here on GH Movie Freak TV. Like I said, we have a lot of guests that we want to come have on the show, so please do well to like this video. If you already haven't, please do well as well to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you get any updates on any episodes that we put on this channel, and spread the word. Leave a comment in the comment section as well, and we'll catch you in the next one. My name is Tonya Sankuma, and I'm out.